Ursites. Ursites are hulking beings that average about 8 to 12 feet in height and weigh approximately 1,500 to 2,200 pounds. They're a bipedal race that is covered in short dark fur from head to toe, most commonly being brown in color. I'm sure the majority of you are familiar with their species, as they are commonly known on the northern continent, even though they aren't that common. Their tough hide and immense physical prowess make them fierce combatants able to shrug off an immense amount of damage, though they aren't invincible even if it can feel that way. They do take damage, but in the heat of battle, they are able to almost entirely ignore it until it becomes much more severe. Your best bet, besides avoiding conflict altogether, would be to try and outlast an Ursite's rampage one way or another, and wear them down bit by bit. Of course, this is not a comprehensive guide on killing of other species, but I feel it was pertinent information to provide for your safety, dear reader. Ursites tend to get a bad rap due to their size and almost unbridled strength, but they aren't as barbaric as one might think on first impression. Most can certainly be pretty standoffish and tend to keep to themselves, but many tend to be quite friendly and a bit lighthearted if you treat them with respect. They do tend to remain neutral to most conflicts found throughout Tellurian and are known to be quite laid back at times. There's a well-known myth that Ursites tend to hibernate for long periods of time, but this is entirely untrue. I have no idea where such stories came from, but I can find no factual information backing these claims. They are, however, incredibly difficult to wake from sleep, near impossible perhaps, but they certainly don't sleep more than your average species. Their keen senses and tracking abilities often go overlooked and underappreciated when compared to their strength. Trust me, their noses are something else and can sometimes detect scents from as far as a mile away. A tough species to try and throw a surprise party for, that's for certain. If you come across an Ursite mercenary for hire, don't forget or underestimate this detail, as they often won't bring it up. Not out of embarrassment, but more often than not, they forget that most races don't possess this remarkably impressive quality. While their warriors are proficient in weaponry, typically axes, their fearsome claws are nothing to laugh at. Most other species don't stand a chance when it comes to unarmed hand-to-hand combat. However, Ursites unfortunately tend to lack tact and usually tackle a problem head-on, literally. They also don't make the best negotiators, as they can be quick to anger and easily provoked. As far as charismatic species go, they tend to rank pretty low in the grand scheme of things. While they can be mostly solitary creatures, their villages, if you find them, tend to reside in caves carved into the sides of canyons, but they are quite uncommon. There's typically only about 100 or so Ursites living in them at any given time. If you mind your manners, outsiders are typically welcomed. Great place to stock up on goods if you are fine buying in bulk. They don't believe in small portions. However, be wary of the beds you plan on sleeping on for the night. They tend to be rock solid, literally. It would be much more comfortable in the wilderness on a random patch of dirt, but they do offer protection. 3 out of 10. Their most well-known village might be not what you expect. Unity City is originally founded by dwarves and Ursites. It's known far and wide on the northern continent for its unique structure built into caves along the Great Canyon, and its large bridges stretching out across the canyon connecting the majority of its tunnels. Today, it's one of the major cities where species of all walks of life are welcomed within its maze-like corridors. Ursites only make up about 1,000 of the currently estimated 500,000 residents, but it is still their largest known settlement.